Yo, what is going on, Guardians, and welcome back to another Destiny gameplay video. In this video, we're going to be talking about fusion rifles specifically and their decline over the literal years and kind of where they're at right now and why they are in the state that they're in. But first of all, let me just say this before I get into that. I know I got a lot of questions in the comment sections the past couple of videos about the shoulder charge challenge. I underestimated you guys, and it's the last time I'll ever do that. Wow, I got a ton of submissions. Some of you guys have seen me comment on your submissions. I haven't commented on all of them, but I've started to at least start to watch all of them. I'm making my way through all the submissions, but I told you guys I would watch them, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to live up to my word here. So next time I'm going to make the challenge tougher. But thank you to all of you guys who jumped on board and made submissions for that shoulder charge video. I'll watch them all. I'm writing down the names of everyone that completed it, and then I'll do the raffle for the hoodie once I'm finished. But that's a lot of videos to watch. But I'm doing it. I am doing it. Gosh, poop it. So thank you anyways for your patience. So getting into the fusion rifles. So just to kind of set the stage for you. You know, fusion rifles are at an all-time low in terms of their usage in the Crucible. I always have felt like fusion rifles are relatively strong PvE weapons. In a lot of raids, they don't play out as well as in things like strikes, but, you know, I think of King's Fall, and it's like in King's Fall, you gotta have, what do you have to have? You gotta have a sniper, right? Stand in this spot and shoot that thing a lot, right? That's pretty much every encounter in King's Fall. So, but they may not be the greatest raid weapons. I like using them in Vault of Glass, but that's only recently become relevant again. But in strikes and stuff, story missions, yeah, fusion rifles they've always been pretty strong. They can do a lot of damage in a little amount of time. So I like them for that. But in the Crucible, they're at a record low. And if you look at the numbers, I love looking at numbers. So I check out things like Destiny Trials Report just to kind of see, specifically in the Trials of Osiris, how things are performing, what's being used, and numbers can be deceiving, but they're certainly indicative of things. So you can't ignore outliers. And fusion rifles are on the bottom. So in terms of percentages of special weapon kills, just for example this past weekend, fusion rifles were basically at a 1.5% of all special weapon kills. So if you have 4 types of special weapons, sniper, shotgun, sidearm, fusion rifle, if all of those things are really well balanced, and it's not just that the guns themselves are balanced, there's other factors that play into that, and we'll get to that, things like ammo economy. If everything is right in the world, then ideally you see some sort of a variety that's, you know, a little bit more evenly spread, where fusion rifles maybe even the worst of the 4 might be at a 10%, right, or a 15%. You know, you'd like to see a little bit more of an even spread, but it's anything but even right now. You got sniper rifles are at roughly 60% of all special weapon kills, and 30% belong to sidearms. So you're looking at 90% of the kills in the special weapon department are just 2 types of special weapons, and then the remaining 10% is split among 2, shotguns and fusion rifles. And fusion rifles still even significantly less than shotguns at a whopping 1.5% of total special weapon kills. So why are they so low? Is it that they're underpowered? No, I wouldn't say that they're underpowered. I think that there's 2 main reasons why fusion rifles are on the bottom. And I'm going to share those 2 main reasons, and then maybe a couple of thoughts if we were to change things even later in Destiny 1, you know, in the near future before Destiny 2 is released, or if that's out of the picture, maybe some changes we might make to make fusion rifles a little bit more relevant in Destiny 2. What should we do? Well, here's the 2 reasons I think they're not so popular to use among the main player base. 2 reasons are inconsistency and inconvenience. So let's talk about inconvenience. How are they inconvenient to use? Well, special economy is the biggest factor in that department. A lot of times, you know, you're going into a match, you die in the first engagement, maybe you lose the engagement, you run up to B, you try and get a little aggressive, there's 3 enemies there, you get double grenaded, bam, there goes all your special energy, your special ammo. And so next you gotta scour the map. Well, in Trials of Osiris it's even worse. It's even worse in Trials, because pretty much most rounds, and trust me, I played like over 20 hours of Trials this weekend. Most of the rounds are decided by the time that special spawns on the map. Usually there's 1 or 2 people down, if not all 3 of them, and the round is over. So by the time special comes up on the map, usually that round is decided, or at least the tone is set for it. One team is down a player or 2. So, man, you really just can't use fusion rifles unless you're really confident in your primary and abilities usage to keep map control. But quite frankly, if you're going against a team with full special, aka sidearms and icebreakers, you are at such a severe disadvantage because it's still a special meta. You're at such a huge disadvantage. So most people are like, well, I'm not going to be a complete detriment to my team. I'm not going to run a fusion rifle. Most people say I'm not going to run a shotgun either. But at least you got universal remote. Everything else, every other type of special weapon has an ammo bypassing option, but fusion rifles do not have that. We don't have that. So if your main is vooping, this is a sad state of the Crucible for you. It really is, because it's not that your voops are bad, it's just that they're just not there. You physically can't do it. And that, frankly, I love using fusion rifles, and frankly, that really sucks. So I hope that gets changed. I really, really do. So they're inconvenient in that regard. And the other thing is they're inconsistent. A lot of times, fusion rifles, you'll put the reticle the same place you did in your previous kill. Last time it was a one-hit kill at the exact same range. This time you put the reticle in the same spot, you pull the trigger, you light them up, and only 2 projectiles hit the guy, and you're left kind of just goosing. And with fusion rifles, you often don't have time. Most of the time when you're playing against decent players, you don't have time to do a second voop. You gotta switch to your primary and try and make something happen, or Hail Mary a grenade or whatever, right? So they're not very forgiving. So their inconsistencies are also a factor why people don't tend to use them. And the only way to really reduce those inconsistencies, not take them away, but reduce them a little bit, is to have a god roll, right? There's the god rolls. People like to use rangefinder rifle barrel, other things that buff stability, but anything that'll make those projectiles go faster and have a tighter cluster. Kind of reduces the inconsistencies, but it doesn't do away with them, right? So if we could address the inconvenience and the inconsistencies of fusion rifles, I think that we would see a lot more of an even spread where they would be used in similar ways as other special weapons. I think that a lot of it is the ammo economy. I would honestly, I wasn't a huge fan of the changes. I am a huge fan of this game. I still love this game. I really do. But the ammo changes, I'm not fully 100% behind. But anyways, those are my thoughts on fusion rifles. What are yours? Why do you think they're so underused? What would you do to sort of tilt the scales a little bit to make a little bit more of an even spread? What are your thoughts? Genuinely interested to hear them. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the gameplay, and I will catch you in the Crucible.